Hello everyone, it's John Boutte here. Going to bring you another episode of In the Vault, the Buffalo Sports Museum. We haven't done one in a very long time. And I've been home recuperating from shoulder replacement surgery, which is painful as all get out. So unless you really have a bad shoulder, I recommend don't doing it because it is, man, is it painful. But I'm sure in the end it'll all turn out well. But here we are almost 4 weeks into it, and it's really tough. So anyway, I've been home watching a lot of videos on YouTube. There's not a lot you can do when you have this. So I thought I would do another video. And one of the videos I love watching is people's countdown of their favorite cards, whether it's baseball cards or football cards or any other cards in their collection. They do a countdown of their favorite cards. So I'll do that. And forgive me if it's a little shaky, the video, because like I said, my one arm is just really almost worthless. But these are my favorite Buffalo sports gum cards of all time. And growing up in that era that I did, and I'm sure many of you did in the 1960s or even the 70s, you know, what did you do when you were a kid? You collected gum cards. At least most of the kids I hung out with. And it was just a fun activity to do. It was cheap. It kept you out of trouble. And, you know, if you were lucky enough to hold on to some of these cards, you were very, very rewarded, because some of these cards are really a lot of money now. So let's get on with it. This is my top 25 Buffalo sports gum cards of all time growing up. Some date from way before when I grew up, but I have learned to love them. And some were around when I was collecting, when I was very young, starting to collect. All the cards that I have here have now been graded by PSA, which is really, really neat. If you don't know anything about PSA, I highly recommend you checking them out. They slab them. They keep them basically hermetically sealed in a plastic slab, and they assign them a grade out of 10. 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And you'll see a good variety of some of these. Some are in great shape, and some are just in okay shape, which is cool, because that's what they were made for, to be loved. So we're going to start out with the top 25. Number 25, the first card, dates back a long way, goes back all the way back to 1912. This is a James Murray Buffalo Bisons baseball card. And this set is called the Imperial set. And it was a baseball set released back in the early part of the century. It included teams from Major League Baseball and teams from Minor League Baseball. And as most of you know, Buffalo has a long history of minor league baseball. So this card is a really nice example. An EX, which means excellent 5, which is right in the middle. And for a card that's 112 years old, that is an extremely good grade. So beautiful color on this. I love this brownish color and the design with the little baseball glove and bat. So that is card number 25. Card number 24. See if you remember this one. This one is 1976. This is an O-Pee-Chee version of this card. Topps was in the United States. O-Pee-Chee was Canada. And this is a Jerry Korab 1976 card. The thing I love about this card is it just looks from the era. Look at his necklace. One of those crazy little funny necklaces that I'm sure a lot of kids wore back in the day. I think I had one first time I played tackle football in the yard. It got ripped off and broken, but it's funny to see somebody like Jerry wearing one of those mid-70s disco, whatever they called those things. But that just always resonated with me. I love the card and the 1970s look of that card. That's card number 24. Card number 23. 1974, Topps Bob Chandler, and that is his rookie card. Anybody that knows me knows my affection for Bob Chandler. I always wanted to be Bob in the football games along the street, trying to keep the toes in, diving into a pile of leaves in the fall. And that's a really nice card in 1974 Topps Bob Chandler rookie card. Near mint, mint 8. Just like the Korab before, it was also a near mint, mint 8, which is in really nice shape. Very, very respectable grade for a card that's 50 years old. Card number 22. We go back to 1915. These cards were called Cracker Jack cards, and these were released in boxes of Cracker Jack in 1915. And the Bisons, actually the Federals, not the Bisons, I mistake, the Federals, which was our professional major league team here in Buffalo, had a number of cards in this set. This was another set that had top minor league cards mixed with major league cards. So you would find people like Walter Johnson and Ty Cobb in this set. And this is probably our most beautiful looking card in this set, and it's Walter Blair. Funny thing about this card, if you go to Cooperstown, anybody that's been to Cooperstown, you get your picture taken right at the entrance, and they have a giant cardboard cutout using this card. And what you do is you get behind it and you put your face in the hole where the face is on the original card, and you get your picture taken. And I think that's really cool how they use Buffalo as that kind of photo op area. So it's a really nice card. Cracker Jack, these are very, very hard to find in top grade. These things, like I said, were in boxes of Cracker Jack. They were meant to be sugar on them, hands beat up, flipped against the wall and everything else. So to find a good 2 in this shape is really, really a nice card. And this one's always been one of my favorite cards in that set. We move on. Card number 21. Card 21 comes from the Sabres. Again, 1977 Topps Don Edwards. Again, a near mint, mint 8, which is a very nice card for a card that's going on 50 years old. And me being a goalie, I was always attracted to the goalies. And Don Edwards, when he was called up from Hershey in February of 77, I immediately clung to him because he had a style that was kind of like Roger Crozier. Used to dive around a lot, had a great glove hand. I've since met Don a number of times, and he is a gentleman, just a wonderful person. You hope that anytime you meet someone that you idolize turns out to be a nice guy, and Don really does. He's a great guy. So love this card. Love that he's wearing 29, his original number with the Sabres, not number 1 that everybody remembers. Wearing that Jofa mask that he went to start his first full season in Buffalo, which of course I had to run out and buy when I was a goalie because I wanted to play just like Don Edwards. So Don Edwards is card number 21. Card number 20. O.J. Simpson gets a appearance. O.J. in 1971, this is a Topps game card. And these were put in packs, and you played a little game. Some people might remember these cards. You might draw Gale Sayers or Len Dawson or another, maybe a Johnny Unitas or somebody like that, and you would have either a gain or a loss or something similar, and you would play a game based on whatever you pulled out of the pack. And of course, O.J. Simpson, probably the best runner in the NFL of the 1970s, garnished a 9-yard gain, which, of course, he had a 9-yard gain. He ran all over the place. Maybe not in 1971, but in the years succeeding. he did. But I always loved this card. It's fun. It's not typical. It has rounded corners on it. It's smaller than a typical gum card of that era. And this one I found in a nice X-Mint 6, which is very, very acceptable for a card of this age. So that is card number 20. Card number 19. Card number 19 gets us into basketball. The Buffalo Braves. And 1974, Ernie DeGregorio. Ernie's rookie year was 1973-74. And usually your rookie year, you don't have a card. You have to wait 1 year to get a card. In most cases, not all cases, but in most cases. And it's funny, but this is the very first, if I'm not mistaken, the very first action card of the Buffalo Braves. Up to that point, all the Braves cards were staged portrait cards. You just saw their face or standing there in a uniform, static, holding a basketball or something like that. But this is a nice card because it really typifies what Ernie D was all about. In mid-flight, getting ready to do a behind-the-back pass or maybe even a scoop layup. But that's his rookie card, a very desirable card in the NBA collectors. Near mint 7. Again, a nice grade for a card from that era. Ernie D. We move up to card number 18. This one's going to confuse a couple people. Most people have seen this before, but this is card number 18. Card 18 is from the 1974 O-Pee-Chee hockey set. And you say, Jacques Lemaire, when did he play for the Buffalo Sabres? He never played for the Buffalo Sabres. But it's one of those cards that's kind of a fun little story. And the story goes that the Buffalo Sabres were very close. Punch Imlach was very close to making a deal for Jacques Lemaire for the Canadiens, for an unknown player. Nobody knows who it was. But the word got out that Jacques Lemaire would end up being a Buffalo Sabre by the time the season started in 1974, 75. As we all know, that trade never happened. But there we are. The O-Pee-Chee company went as far as to even put a Sabres uniform, to airbrush a Sabres uniform in his card to make it look like he was an actual member of the Buffalo Sabres. So this one has always been a fun one, especially when you make bets with people. They say he was never on the Sabres. Hey, yeah, he was right here. Look at. So there you go. There's Jacques Lemaire in 1974 as a member of the Buffalo Sabres. That's card number 18. Real nice card. X-Mint 6. Card number 17. This guy owns a real good place in my heart, and I know a lot of people's hearts around Buffalo. Mike Robitaille, 1973, O-Pee-Chee, very desirable. Near mint, mint 8, 1973, Mike Robitaille. And man, here's a guy that came to Buffalo in 1971 with Don Luce from Detroit. Played for the Bisons in the playoffs in the 1970 Calder Cup playoffs. So he already had a taste of Buffalo, and then a year later he comes back to Buffalo. And what I love about this is Mike Robitaille would stay in Buffalo for the rest of his life. From that point on in 1971, when he was acquired for Joe Daly from the Red Wings, he made his home. Him and Isabel, his wife, made a successful business and became lifelong Western New Yorkers. And, you know, the best thing about this card, I've always loved this card because, and for this reason, I don't know if you can read it, but it says, even I can't read it, even with my glasses on, but it basically says Mike would like to have a future in radio and TV broadcasting after retirement. Right there. Mike would like to turn to radio or TV after retiring. And who else can say that on their gum card that they fulfilled their dream of being a broadcaster after their retirement from playing days? I love this card. It's just a beautiful card, and it's from the 1973 O-Pee-Chee set. That is card number 17. Card number 16, another hockey card. This was a beautiful card, and it was kind of unexpected because really nobody did this back then. They didn't put line cards out. Sometimes you would have, the leading scorers of the team or something like that or whatever, but this actually came out as a line. As we all know, the French Connection, the greatest line to ever play in Buffalo hockey history. And this one is a 1976 French Connection Topps card. The O-Pee-Chee card is an exact replica of this, except the back's a little different. But this is a near mint 8. And look at that. Those three handsome dudes, right? Only one of them is left, sadly. Gilbert is the only one left. Rico dying in 2011 and Rene dying a couple of years ago. But, what a really nice card that is. 1976, right at the heyday of the French Connection. That is card number 16. We move to the top 15. Back to basketball. Everybody knows the story of Randy Smith. Randy Smith came to Buffalo from Bellport, Long Island. I think he was on that side of the state. He came to Buffalo State to play 3 sports. He played basketball, he ran track, and he played soccer, and he was outstanding at all 3. And the Buffalo Braves selected him in the 1971 NBA draft out of Buff State. And a funny story, the year before, they could have had Calvin Murphy. He was sitting there, and the Braves, in their infinite wisdom, selected John Hummer out of Princeton instead of Calvin Murphy. So I think when this came around, and Randy Smith, who had lived in Buffalo the last few years, coming to play at Buffalo State, they weren't going to let him get away. So they took Randy, and history was made because other than Bob McAdoo, there's not a more important figure in Buffalo Braves basketball than Randy Smith. Nice card, beautiful card, great color. I love that he's wearing his warm-up jacket in that, again, a staged photo. Most of those basketball cards in that era, in that early 70s, are all staged. But a very highly desirable near mint 8. Great card. Moving to 14. And again, anybody that knows me knows that I love Joe Ferguson. This is not Joe's rookie card. Joe's rookie card came in 74, but I love this pose in the 76 set. A really nice pose, holding the football, ready to throw a bomb to Ahmad Rashad or J.D. Hill at that time. And beautiful near mint card, near mint 9. This is a really nice set. The 76 Topps set is a very nice football set. Good card. That is card number 14. Lucky 13. Go back to baseball. Most people don't recognize this card. This is a T206 Piedmont, and Piedmont being the actual cigarette company on the back. Piedmont, they would come in different. The companies had different cards. Piedmont being one, Sweet Caporal being another, and there's a couple other ones. But this one is always. I would love this card because of the color, of the background color. And again, this is from 1909, the T206 set. Most people know the T206 set because it had the famous Hannes Wagner card in it, the one that's worth $1 gajillion. There's only about 60 examples of the Hannes Wagners from this set. There's way more of the George Sherm cards, but this is a Bison card and a very desirable, very good, excellent 4. Again, for a card 112 years old, or no, excuse me, 114, 13, 14, 15 years old, that is a very great grade to have on a card from this age. Beautiful colors, just love it. Cigarette cards, that's back when you had to buy a pack of cigarettes to get the card. Top 12. Number 12, Haven Moses. Very underrated wide receiver in Bills history. That's not the reason I picked this card. I love the the layout of this card. I love the color of the BILLS and the little cartoon caricature in the left corner. Haven was a great player, but this set was always a real popular set for me. I was only 8 years old when this came out, so this was one of the first football sets that I remember collecting. I think 70 might have been the first, but it's what a beautiful card with him, posed in that above the head catch from probably Dennis Shaw at the time. But a really hard set to find in good condition, near mint 8, because chipping on the outer edges, whenever you had a color on the outer edges, like this one is red, it was very difficult to keep that from getting chipped, and wear stood right out when you had a color like this. So that's a really nice card. I love this set. It's one of my favorite football sets of all time. That's card number 12. Card number 11. Card 11, Rick Martin. And what I love most about this card is Rico was always a great practical joker. He was always telling jokes. He was funny. And if you look through this set of cards, or any set of cards through this era, he's the only guy who's playing with the camera. He's only playing with the cameraman. He'd stick his stick out. He'd do something funny. He'd have a funny face or something like that. He had a really wonderful sense of humor. So I love this card. 1973 Topps. It's the same set as the Mike Robitaille card earlier, but that's an X-Mint 6. And again, those colored edges are very hard to find in nice shape because they just got banged up from rubber bands, from sneaker boxes and cigarette boxes and things like that we used to collect them in. Hard to find really nice examples from those. But that is card number 11. This one goes to 11. The top 10. Getting to the top 10. Everybody knows everybody's fascination and love for Tim Horton that came to Buffalo in 1972 to play for the Sabres after a long career with the Leafs, the Rangers, and then the Penguins. Beautiful card and from a beautiful man. I love this card not only because it's Tim Horton, but because this shows you some of the tricks that the card companies used to play. That is Tracy Pratt's body on Tim Horton's face. And when Tim came to Buffalo, he did not have a jersey to wear, obviously, because he was acquired very late before the 72-73 season. So they figured they would just take his picture from another card and then plop it on Tracy Pratt's body. Well, one problem with that is Tim Horton was a right-handed shot, not a left-handed shot. So it's really a nice, unique card that I just love, and it's an X5. I could upgrade this card. I could get it to probably about a 7 or an 8 if I looked hard enough. But boy, that's a nice 5, though. It's beautiful, centered, and very sharp. But I love Tim Horton, and I think we all do. That is card number 10. We are in the top 10. Number 9. Number 9. Bob Kaufman, 1971 Topps basketball set. What a beautiful set of cards. I just love the Braves color that they used, that hot pink background. It is beautiful. I've always loved this set of cards, and the style of the font of Buffalo, and again, portrait. He's standing there, staged shot in his 1970-71 warm-up jacket back before they changed colors for the second year. Beautiful card from a beautiful set and a very desirable near mint 8. That was card number 9. Card number 8. Cookie Gilchrist, Carlton Cookie Gilchrist. I love how they put his real first name on the card. Not many people know his real first name was Carlton. And this is his United States rookie card. He had a card earlier, I think in Toronto for the Argonauts. That's not generally regarded as his rookie card. This is his regarded as his rookie card. A beautiful near mint 7 from the 1963 set. It's a beautiful card, and in a great pose. And as we know, he didn't wear 36 as a Billy. He wore 34 before Jim Braxton or Thurman Thomas ever thought of wearing it. Beautiful card from a great forgotten player, unfortunately, because he was fantastic. Okay, we are up to number 7. Number 7, Roger Crozier. My favorite goalie of all time. The reason I became a goalie was because of Roger Crozier. And this second-year Sabres card comes via Topps, near mint 8, and a beautiful picture of him smiling real heavy. And I love this set of cards. One of my favorite all-time set of hockey cards, the 71-72 set, just filled with Hall of Famers. Beautiful. Looks like he's looking in a mirror with that design. It's just beautiful. I love it, and I loved Roger Crozier. Roger Crozier is number 7. We go up to number 6. Number 6 on our list, the great Billy Shaw. We just celebrated a birthday this week, a heavenly birthday this week on December 15th. Billy Shaw, one of the most important players in Buffalo Bills history, a gentleman, a beautiful man, and I miss him. Beautiful set of cards, a 62 set. It was not a big set of cards, AFL set. It was Fleer, not Topps, and a great pose of him getting ready to block for Cookie Gilchrist. The line that he anchored was called the Doughboys. And he told me that they called him the Doughboys because of Cookie. And his job was to lead the way. But Billy Shaw, beautiful card, very hard to find centered. This set, especially the Billy Shaw card, is very difficult to find centered. This is centered almost perfectly. And it's a very nice, desirable X5. Beautiful card. Number 6. Number 5, the top 5. 1958 Luke Easter Bond Bread set. This was a local set given away right here in Buffalo, celebrating the 1958 Buffalo Bisons, which was a fantastic ball club, and beautiful set of cards. 9-card set, and the best card in the set is obviously Luke Easter, one of the most famous and most important names in Buffalo sports history. This set of cards was a lot lighter paper they used than the typical card of a Topps card, very light. So it was very susceptible to damage, creasing, staining, things like that, centering. Again, in 1958, the card companies didn't care less about centering or anything like that. They just put them out because that's what they wanted to do, is get them out. But this is a beautiful card, and this one had an advertisement on it at the bottom. Watch Casey Jones on Channel 7 Thursdays at 7 o'clock. You don't see a lot of cards out that promote a television show in town. But this is a real popular set, that Bond Bread set. People always asking me for if I have any extra Bond Breads. A beautiful card from a beautiful person. Number 5, Luke Easter. Making it to the top 4. Back to basketball. 2 for McAdoo. 1973 Topps Bob McAdoo rookie card. Near mint 7. His card is very difficult to get in a 9 or above. Even an 8 are very expensive to find. 7s are affordable. You can find them, I don't know, maybe $100, $150 for a 7. It is a beautiful card. Here he is getting ready to shoot one of his patented jumpers from outside the key that he was so famous for. Very nice card, 1973 Topps Bob McAdoo. Probably the best basketball player to ever play in Buffalo. Bob Lanier might have something to say about that, but certainly the two of them, the two best that ever graced court in Western New York. We go to the top three. Number 3, O.J. Simpson. I will not talk about anything that happened after he retired from football. We all know the story. But I'll tell you what, there was no bigger player in Buffalo during the 1970s than O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was everybody's hero here in Buffalo. Everybody wanted to run like O.J. It's a great card. Beautiful set, 1971, probably the first set I remember collecting in football. And our own O.J. Simpson was part of that set. Great color, again, the hot pink at the bottom. Beautiful, beautiful card. And he's, in my opinion, the greatest running back that I ever saw play. I know there's Peyton, and I know there's Dickerson, and I know there's, Emmitt Smith and everybody else. But boy, I'll tell you, nobody ran the ball like O.J. Simpson. And he was one of the first professional football players that really started to go into advertising. And we all know how he was with the Avis rental cars, and he went into movies and all that stuff after his career ended. And he really made Buffalo proud for such a long time. And again, I won't mention anything else. But just a beautiful card. Number 3. Number 2. In my opinion, the greatest Buffalo Sabre that's ever been. And this card, his rookie card, 1970, is absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous card. I love the color. The green background. This top set had some really, really nice cards in that set, 1970. Some good Hall of Famers in there. Some nice rookie cards in this set. A very desirable set. There's some really good players that come out of this set. And none bigger in this set than Gilbert Perreault. Near mint, mint 8. Very desirable card. His O-Pee-Chee card in this shape is in the thousands of dollars. The tops is a little cheaper. You can get a good tops like this one, or maybe even like a 5 or a 6. Very affordable. But this one's a nice near mint, mint 8. It's a beautiful card from the greatest hockey player I think that's ever played in Buffalo. I know Dominik Hasek won all the awards, but in my opinion, I think Gilbert Perreault's the best. That is number 2. We're up to number 1. The number 1 card, my favorite set in Buffalo sports history. Some of you may have already guessed it. It's the Tall Boy set from 1965. And our wonderful quarterback, Congressman Jack Kemp, still the only quarterback to lead us to a championship, 1964 and 1965. He was everything in Buffalo in the 1960s. Intelligent, handsome, a great leader. He was just wonderful. And this is a beautiful set. The 65 Tall Boy set is not only my favorite, but many collectors feel that the 65 Tall Boy set is the greatest football card set that was ever produced. Joe Namath rookie is in there. Fred Biletnikoff rookie is in there. There's some other great rookie cards in here. Some beautiful cards. In my opinion, none better looking than Jack Kemp. And he is number 1. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look. I know it's been a long video, but to get through 25 cards and talk about each player takes a while. It takes a long time. So I hope you like it. Please share. Please subscribe. Please like. That's how my videos get seen. And I would love it if you would do that for me. Thanks again. Sorry it's been so long since I've had a In the Vault segment, but I hope you like this one from our look back at gum cards in Buffalo sports history. My favorites. Thanks again. Have a great night. Bye-bye.